What's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and you are listening to Season 2 of the Mindshare Podcast, a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Additional podcasts are available at mindshare101.com and on all the major podcast platforms. This week's episode is sponsored by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems. This is episode 80. As an entrepreneur, realtor, and business owner, she has spent 21 years of building online businesses and scaling them. And she believes the future of marketing yourself as a realtor is personal branding, learning how to generate revenue through the art of social selling. In only 2 years, she has become a top 1% video creator on LinkedIn. And she teaches entrepreneurs, real estate professionals, and CEOs how to flip the script, to be seen as a respected advisor while having fun building a personal brand and owning your digital real estate. Joining me on the Mindshare podcast today is digital branding expert Virgie Van Horst. Virgie, welcome to the show. It is great to have you here.
Hi, how's it going?
It is going. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm totally excited for this conversation. This one for me is a big one because, again, this digital landscape, the digital real estate, and a lot of our audience are agents and realtors, mortgage brokers, loan officers, and this whole idea of owning the digital real estate is big. I hear from a lot of people, especially a lot of my coaching clients. We're looking to up our online presence. How do I make it better? What do I do? And quite frankly, for me, that is a loaded umbrella. Like, just asking that question, like, how do I have my online presence better? It's not just go out and get a website, right? There's a
It's
hell
not
of a
a
lot more to it.
three-step process, 1, 2, 3, and that's just it. No,
Yeah, just like turn it on, like, right? Like, that's it.
yeah.
But as I was telling you before, and as you've sort of seen from some of the Mindshare stuff, this show is all about marketing and sales strategies. And my goal on a regular basis is to help everybody I'm working with work easier, spend less, and make a whole lot more money.
Yep.
Now, we do this through teaching a concept of building mindshare. And mindshare is that top of mind, intuitive, instinctive reaction to a product or service. So again, and I know I said this stuff to you. It's like, what is the first name people think of when they think of real estate? And it's most of the time you want them to say your name. Well, we know that when that's happening, that's mindshare. And well, mindshare equals market share. That is the goal. So in this case, this whole topic of owning your digital real estate, this thing ties in really, really well. But just before we go there, because you're in beautiful California, and a lot of the folks that are at least within my circle may not be aware of who you are. I thought, as I was reading your bio, I'm going, okay, I'm like, she's wearing so many hats, right? Entrepreneur, mentor, motivator, realtor, broker. I just learned from you now, restaurant owner. Tell us more about you. Like, give us some background into your day-to-day, that DMO of like what a day in the life of Virgie looks like, because that is a lot of hats to wear.
Okay,
And most people complain like they are way too busy.
I just love it. I mean, you nailed it when you didn't call me a realtor broker first. You called me an entrepreneur first, because I am an entrepreneur at heart. I have always been. I don't know how to turn it off. I'm not sure if it's a blessing or a curse, but I'm loving it right now. So I have been on the internet for 21 years, and that's a really, really long time. So even though I wear many hats, I've actually, have gone through many years of, reinventing myself or just failing forward. I am a product of 21 years of growth through adversity and failing forward faster. That's it. When I got on the internet back in 95, my partner told me that
still dial-up back then? Like,
yes. My partner told me he was going to build a server. Okay, build a server. Just to give you guys a little perspective here, build a server. And at that time, I was like, "You're going to build a waiter?" Like, I had no clue.
Server, waiter. Oh my God.
I was a server. I waited on tables. That's how I did. I didn't have any. I didn't know what he was talking about. I knew he built computers, but I didn't understand a server was something that would sit and knock and host all these websites. So
that's funny.
My job was to, he's like, "We can't afford to build websites, Virg. I need you to figure out how to build navigational buttons." Back then, a button or graphic would be like 500 to 1,000. Bandwidth was a bandwidth bill. We're so lucky now. Bandwidth bill for us was $3,000 a month. and we weren't even making money. We were just trying to have a website online. It was ridiculous how expensive this stuff. So I was scaling bandwidth back in the 90s. So for me, it's just like I said, it's an evolution of growing, of building websites and being an entrepreneur, and finding things that inspire you, and trying to make money doing it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it didn't, and how I became a realtor was in 2008. Well, in 2004, we had a Forex business. We were in the financial business where we were actually built an automated trading robot for the Forex industry. We were making money hand over fist. It was ridiculous. We were traveling to Dubai. I lived in Europe for 8 months, came back. Before we did that, I actually bought a brand new house, parked 2 Beamers in the garage, and we split to Europe. When we came back in 2008, we all know as realtors what happened then. The markets just crashed. My business just crashed too because it was tied into the financial market. So at that point, I told myself that I wanted to do something that was green. And at that time, not green like eco-friendly, but green in the essence that it would always be needed. Real estate, I figured, was always going to be around. So I wanted to get involved in that. And I also wanted to understand real estate more because I was pissed off that I didn't use my trader mindset to buy the property. It's the biggest investment that you have. And I didn't take it seriously. I just had all this money. And I just thought that I wanted to get into the investment side of real estate. So that's when I got into probates and trusts and data mining. And that's where I scaled and built my brokerage.
And that was in 08, 09?
No, in 08, 09, no, I became a realtor, but through that time, I started doing probates with attorneys.
Okay,
And then
I was going to say, because that was a tough time to get in on.
That was a tough time.
Yeah.
No, when I got in, it was doing probates, trusts and all investors. I really got into that niche of the market in real estate. But me being kind of like a tech geek, and understanding that, trust and probate, that's public data. And me living with somebody who can basically data mine, I was like, can you scrape that data for me? And he was scraping it faster than Rebo Gateway at that time. And we used that method to build a 100% commission brokerage back in 2016. And then I had, it was Toby Realty. I had like 20 agents. I was trying to scale this much like, it's really funny. It's kind of like what EXP is, in fact, I made deals with certain people back then, but it was too early. I was pitching personal branding and nobody understood, about what my thing is. I wanted to take my brokerage and create a digital agency out of it. I wanted all my little individual agents to build their personal brands that would help elevate the actual brokerage itself. So that was my idea, but yet nobody was doing it. Nobody was taking my advice, and I became very depleted. I worked way more hours. I didn't make any more money. Agents, there wasn't an alignment. I didn't have people who really, really wanted to make a business. I just wanted somebody that wanted to be fed with leads and didn't want to do the work. So I decided to take a step back and do a boutique brokerage.
Hold on. People just want to be fed with leads and not do any work?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and why I
say it doesn't work like that.
The thing is what I did is I was literally dropping about 50 leads into a Dropbox to these agents. And then they were coming to me asking me for, I need business, I need work. And I was like looking at their Dropbox account. I'm like, I just dropped you 50 leads. You've got to do something with it. And so it became just a little bit frustrating. So I reverse engineered it and started practicing what I preach. And what really got me going, and I'll be honest with you, in 2000, I started 3 years ago, 2018. God, time goes by so fast.
Oh my God, I know.
I went to school to pick up my daughter, and I met this woman that's kind of like an acquaintance, friend, but not really. And she told me about this horrible experience that she just had buying a property and that all this stuff, and that she knew I was a real estate agent, but she didn't really feel comfortable talking. And I was pissed. I was a little bit pissed because she did know, but didn't know. I didn't market myself within my people because I wasn't that type of agent. So I went home thinking, that's the last time that someone's not going to know who I am and what I do and the services I can provide. And it wasn't just out of selfish reasons. I could have saved her a bad experience. You know what I mean? By me just stepping up. I could have saved her a bad experience. From that day, I told my husband, I said, I have like 20 friends on Facebook. I need more.
Yeah.
I went all in on video. You'll see it. My very first video was for a property I did in Rancho Palos Verdes. And after that, I stayed consistent. I didn't care who was watching. I just knew that if somebody were to look me up, that I needed to build a footprint for myself, something that had some sort of credibility or weight, because nobody knew that I had been on the internet for 21 years, even though I had. But somebody could pop up for 3 months and talk about being on internet, and they are now the expert. But here I've been online for 21 years, but nobody noticed me. Nobody knew me. So with personal branding and social media, I saw an organic way to flip that, to change that, to make sure that was never going to be my scenario again. They didn't want to work with me. It was because they had a choice, not because they didn't or weren't aware of me.
Okay, and I want to dig into that further. I want to actually get strategical and give everybody here some actionable takeaways so that they can look and say, okay, how do I implement what she's talking about? But just before we get into that, so is most of your time now spent, because again, with the different hats you're wearing, the recognition of how to build the business, where your talent lies from a technical digital aspect, but building a real estate business, is most of your time spent now, today, as we speak, and well, maybe not as we speak, but before and after this, are you spending it selling real estate, or are you spending it with a lot more of this digital branding stuff?
I'm selling it with a lot more of the digital branding stuff. And I'll tell you because, as an entrepreneur, of 21 years, I know that you must be in alignment with whatever you're going to do. So for me, I get a lot of gratification. I'm like a natural born coach. I never really knew that about myself, but when I see somebody, or I can see their greatness that they can't see, and I really like to pull that out of them and cultivate them. That's something I do naturally. Even in my personal relationships when it's not needed or even wanted. So I have to watch that. So I love building business. And no, I don't really attack real estate as I'm going to go after the lead, because the way it works for me is if I focus on what it is that I do, whether it's the personal branding, it's proving that I'm a great marketer. Okay. And in real estate, if you're going to be doing listings, they need to know that you are a good marketer, because in the end of the day, you've got to be able to market the property. And if you have what you say, mind share.
I like that. You should use that more often. Sounds good.
But it's, but it's true, but it's cool. I like that. Mind share, I really thought was more of like a mastermind, but it's really, the thing is if you have that mind share, you always have business. Okay. And it's like when you go after it going, here's my house and here's this, I think you're actually pushing the people away from that, because not everybody's ready for that, but they are ready to know that when they are ready, that they know this person who is just involved and not with an agenda. She's involved because she personally loves what she does, and she's doing it every day, and she's in the trenches. And if you want to go to somebody, well, here's an authority in that space, not because I'm pitching it, because they can see it through the results, by educating people, by helping others elevate. She can do this for others, what can she do for me? And that's kind of like what I do, and it makes me feel good. I don't like to be pitchy or salesy. It's never been something that feels really good. When somebody comes at me like that, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that car's salesman feel. You know what I mean? So
everybody can smell the salesman from a mile away.
You can smell it. You can smell the hunger. You know what I mean? And it's like, even if you are hungry, if you flip it to the point where you're really client-centered, where you really want to focus just on them, you have it all. But you do have to flip that switch. It is mindset. It's all about the mindset. And if you're coming from a place of like, you're going to have that wrong energy. So really you have to get this in alignment with what it is that you're doing. And then you have to have a little patience, because this type of marketing, it's a growth marketing mindset. It is a slower ROI, but it compounds. And if you build this digital footprint, it will appreciate for you, but you're not going to see that appreciation in that moment. You have to go macro at it. And here's a really good example. Let's say you're going
I could drop the mic right now and say, we've just you've just done it, like that, done. Thank you, everybody. Go home. You've heard the, right? No, seriously, because it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not immediate ROI, right? It is that consistency. You're echoing a lot of the messages that I deliver, but that's what it comes down to, right? And then that authenticity and being genuine around the message of what you're conveying, not doing it to go, okay, I'm going to tell you about my dog. By the way, do you want to sell your house? Right?
Yeah.
That's
Why a
not
lot
the
of
way it
people,
goes.
no, that's why a lot of people say, when you get stuck on what to post, what am I going to create? What kind of content can I create? And, I'm guilty of it too, especially in times of now when there's so much going on. And, I did a video about that where I actually stopped myself from posting something because I actually had the thought, well, is this the right thing to post? I'm like, well, how, that's not fucking authentic at all. Like, I mean, that's not. So I'm being a hypocrite then. If I were to just document what I'm feeling in that moment without going, okay, this is the rule. No, this is me documenting what I'm feeling at this moment. I can come back next week through growth, because we grow every day, and go, yeah, you remember that post, and change that and course correct it. But if I didn't post anything because I was fearful of what people might think, then you go into a mode where you're not doing anything in action, and then you get cold, and then you're like, well, okay, and then you're not consistent.
Right.
Then you're flip-floppy either. You're not consistent in your message, and you're not consistent in your stepping up. So there's two ways to be consistent, because some people could be there every day for 2 years, 3 years, but they're flip-floppy in their message. 1 minute it's here and their message is all freaking diluted and stuff. So that's why you have to be in alignment. And for me, creating video was the fastest way to that, because at the beginning I tried to create content, tried to edit it the way it should have been. Then I was like, fuck it. I can't, all I
So
can
tell
do
me
is
this
just
then.
be me.
I'm curious though. Where were your struggles then when you said, like, I tried and it wasn't coming, it wasn't going? I mean, and let me preface.
Overthinking.
Okay, because let me preface that, right? Because we've got overthinking. We've got, I mean, and I'll share to people, try to sit down and create a content calendar, try to batch create. And I've got my times where I do that for a 30-day period, where I'll sit
Mm-hmm.
down for a Friday night with a couple Heinekens, and I'll try to, like, bang out 3-4 hours of content for the next 30 days.
Uh-huh.
And it is stressful. Like, it is, your mind has to be so locked in
It
and
does.
zeroed into what's going on that month, what kind of message you're trying to convey. And it's not that you're not going to bob and weave as you move, right? Like, as
Mhm.
as the days go on, where you're like, oh, I've got another piece of value that I want to share out there
Right.
that is, again, in alignment with what I'm saying. But
Yes.
it is a struggle sometimes. So sometimes it goes from doing a 30-day window to doing 7-day window. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm going to plan tonight for
Uh-huh.
tomorrow. And I mean, my MO is every single night, 15 to 20 minutes to plan my day for tomorrow. But part of that includes, what kind of content might be going out
Right.
there? What kind of messaging am I delivering? Is tomorrow a podcast day or a video day or a
Right.
whatever? Because again, there's a lot of consistency wrapped around it.
A lot.
But where were you? And back to the question I just had there,
I know
what
exactly
was
where
that struggle? What was that like? Oh my God.
Okay, so I know exactly what it was, and I know now. In the moment, I did not know what it was, but I was stuck. I was stuck personally. And for 2008, I'll be honest with you, I did not get through that very gracefully. I did not have the right mindset. I had the mindset of, why are they taking this away from me? I spent so much time building this. So my mindset was a little bit disgruntled. And when I came back in 2018, I was building my personal brand. I'm a little older. I don't know if you could tell I haven't been to my hairdresser, but
Please
but
don't start.
21.
Okay, I got people watching right now. They're gonna start poking fun of my hair now. Okay, because it never is this long.
So 21 years, you learn a thing or two, but at the same time, when I was starting to produce content, it was personal branding, but yet I wanted to be professional. You wanted to be respected, and there was a lot of vulnerability on platforms like LinkedIn, which I gravitated towards, which why LinkedIn is my happy place. But for me, I struggled a bit with, I'm 40-ish. I should have my shit together.
Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to produce content that was like, wasn't like the struggles, wasn't really the thing. So I was like leaving all that part out of it. And that's where I got stuck, is because I wasn't being true to myself. And those are the times that I would get stuck, is where I would be like trying to create content. They're trying to create content. And that's when I've started. I don't know if you ever remember, if you've watched me, but I started this whole badass realtor thing.
That
And
I
what
haven't seen yet. I'd love to catch that though.
it was a badass realtor. I called myself badass realtor. And the reason why is not because I thought I was a badass realtor. It was because I
Oh, I
believe
like that. I like the style. Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
I did too. No, I love it too. But the reason why is because I believe there's a badass in all of us. And I wanted to draw a line in the sand and make sure people knew who I was so that I would attract the people that wanted to work with me. So when I got to that mindset where I was like, I don't care, I don't need to please everyone. I just need to make sure that the people that I'm working with want to work with me. And that's how I figured that I would attract the people that would be a better fit for me. So that's when I just started just owning who I was and just speaking my truth.
Okay. See, I like that. And I think that a lot of people are very fearful of that, Virgie, is that
Yes, I was too.
owning who you are, right? And being comfortable with that. And so, look, I'll take this to a very personal spot for a moment. There we go. There's the comments about my hair. Thanks, Cheryl. And sorry for those of you listening to the podcast. This is being aired on Facebook Live right now, so we've got people watching us. But anyways, Cheryl, please comments about the hair. No, I'm joking. But it is that thing. Like I will post a lot about hockey. I will post a lot about my motorcycle. You'll see a picture of a dress shirt or being on stage, and the next thing you know, I'll have a bandana across my face and be on my motorcycle, and it's like this is who we are.
We as people are not one dimensional, and to protect
and you got to be comfortable with who you are. You've got to be willing to share that with the world, right? Because what's going to end up happening is the people that find some commonalities with you, those people are going to gravitate to you, right? And then the people that maybe they don't find it with you, well, you know what? Maybe they're not your people, and that's
they're
not a
not
bad thing.
they're not your people. And I have worked with been in a lot of situations where I've been working with not my people, and it's work. It's not fun work. It's work. And when you can switch that and actually work with people that are in alignment with you, it changes the game. And that's what being an entrepreneur. And as a realtor, we are entrepreneurs. So let's take this time to, especially in a time like now when everyone's reinventing themselves, the landscape for real estate is changing, how we actually interact with clients is changing. Why not take that time and embrace that fact?
Take it, run with it. Absolutely. So tell me this then, when you talk about the video and we talk about the content, right? And you say it's not just about, that digital, because there is ROI, or pardon me, it is a slower growth, but it is part of building the mind share. What things, what kind of strategies do you implement outside? And I want to come back to digital in a moment in the videos. What kind of strategies do you sort of implement outside of all of that stuff? Phone calls, seeing people,
So right now, obviously a lot of that has changed. So really all of my stuff has always been digital. And I will tell you, this new venture that I'm on, this restaurant, takeover that I did in the community is really bridging the, I speak a lot about hybrids. I speak to realtors a lot, but I also speak to small business owners and entrepreneurs on this digital real estate, because as it works for realtors, it really works for all business. Because what the internet has done is it really has changed the whole landscape. Everybody can now build a personal brand. It's not just for realtors. So I speak about it for everything, but even more so, how do you build a personal brand for like a restaurant or for a small business? And that, now that I've taken on this venture, has really given me a different perspective to speak about that, because now it's like personal branding, go through your journey. It's different. So what it is that I'm finding out now is it's still personal branding, but it's more for a company's personable branding. It's trying to take that branding, and create that mind share. But the only way you can do that with the mind share is connecting with other minds. And that's making it more human to human. It's having that connection. So when you create content for a business, whether it be real estate, whatever it is, if you can bring a human element to it, whether it's a logo but bring something that connects to people. And the best way to do that is through truth, through vulnerability, by calling out your own faults first, because then nobody can mess with you after that. You're like, yeah, I owned it, but this is how you grow from it. This is how you get there. So when you say, somebody sees you as an expert, but you don't feel like an expert, we are all experts till somebody hasn't gone through that growth that we got to yet. So that's why when imposter syndrome, we speak about that a lot on LinkedIn. It's not a thing. It's a thing that you tell yourself to put up a block. Imposter is just if you don't have the confidence to do a thing. But if I have never done something, of course I'm not going to know how to do it. But if you do a thing over and over again, well, now you're an expert at it. but it just took doing it. So the strategy is in the action of doing,
Oh, I
and
love that.
you can't get from one place to another by staying in the same spot. So my thing is fail forward faster. You need to be creating content. You don't have to, but you need to if you don't want to disappear. You need to if you want to be able to have a weight when you go into a next listing appointment. If they're reviewing two people, right now they're reviewing people online. If you have no digital reputation, you've got no digital trust, you've got no footprint, you've got no brand equity, you've got no mind share, you eventually will have no business. And that is the harsh reality. That's just the way it is.
We have a comment here within the Facebook thread here that says, "I'm a new agent, and this has been my approach to building my business, but I'm finding that I really fight the salesman commission breath, quote unquote, because COVID has impacted how I can lead generate." And
Mm,
my 2 cents on that becomes, from everything that Virgie you're sharing, and from what we're sort of going over here today in this episode, around putting content out there, being consistent, and again being authentic about who you are and
mhm,
how people perceive you, and then to what you just said around people go online to figure out who you are
mhm.
when you're making your phone calls, and this idea of lead generation. Remember, it's a know you, like you, trust you business.
Yes.
People are dealing with people that they know, like, and trust. This is not about random online leads, not
Right.
in this
No.
business. So if
No.
you're going to try to get out there and put out content and have kind of that bigger, wider reach because of social media and the internet,
Mhm,
which you certainly do and you should certainly be doing,
mhm.
be authentic about it, and then
Yeah.
understand that it comes back to how are you mixing your active and your passive touch points together to deliver the message of, look, hey, I'm in real estate, but hey, I'm also a really good person and we should connect with each other.
Mhm.
And from a lead generation perspective, um, to everybody, this comes back to making phone calls, you
Yeah.
know and your phone calls to call people and say, hi, how are you, how's everybody keeping, is everybody healthy, listen, I just want to call and say hello. It
I
can
do
be a
video messages. I will do video, like I'll
You
do
can do
quick
that
little
too.
videos or little audios, and it makes it feel really personal. But it really is important to go above and beyond because,
Right.
you know, to what the gentleman or said in the feed, that his lead generation has changed because of COVID. I'm gonna have to say that's all about perspective. It's
I
all about
agree. I do agree. I do agree with that.
the way you're looking at it, because obviously you're right, COVID has changed a lot. It also has made a lot of people who are not ready for this change go away,
Yes.
go dormant, and
Yes.
hide and just go do some cleaning or garage or some renovations. That might be some really old school top producers that are like, I'm just tired, I'm not ready to change. That means there's more windows. There's also more room for collaborations. A lot of things is that a lot of agents don't do, which I don't get, is that we don't see each other as allies. We actually see each other as where I'm at. It's really hard to have a realtor relationship because they're like, oh, I don't want to. So I've heard somebody say, I don't want to connect with other realtors because I don't, because they're a realtor. I'm like, well, that's exactly why you want to connect with them. Because if you're connecting with them and you're creating content, you're on their feed. You have access to all of their users. And if you are more creating more mind share on their feed, they're going to see you. So for me, it's really just about having an abundant mindset and knowing that not everybody's going to want to work with you. But the more you put yourself out there, the more chances you have.
I, you
And
know,
if you're
it,
limiting, yeah.
just sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I thought it was interesting because yesterday I put something up in our group about a military mindset and reconnaissance around how the military goes in before they
Yeah.
get into battle, and they send a few people in and survey the land and understand what's the competition up to and how are they operating and what are they doing, how, and the idea is how can you infiltrate your competition. And so to
Bingo.
what you just said, it's the same. It ties in perfectly. Sorry, it was great right there.
It's
And by
really
the way,
fun. Go ahead.
to everybody watching, for all of my Mindshare Masters that are watching us from the Facebook feed, don't forget you got the link to get into the VIP room. Virgie's going to be hanging out with us after we get off air around the 2 o'clock time frame. So I encourage you guys, join us in the Zoom room. Get in there. We're going to do a private Q&A with Virgie. It's going to be wicked. So just a reminder, everybody there. And if you're not a Mindshare Master, well, you got to go check out the group because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's gonna
stuff.
be fun.
It's gonna be awesome. But you got to get involved in that stuff. Anyhow, so tell me this: top 1% video creator. What does this mean?
Okay, so
And you had
LinkedIn,
that big smile. And I was like,
LinkedIn,
when I read that, I thought, that's so cool. What does it
okay, so
mean?
LinkedIn, where are my realtors at? Seriously, LinkedIn is a beautiful, beautiful platform, and there aren't enough realtors there. And how I was able to become a top 1% creator in 2 years was showing up consistently on a platform, hear me out, that has 600 million users, okay? Only 1% of those people are creating content. So it's actually not really hard to achieve what I achieved on a new platform. So if I were to tell you that LinkedIn is what Facebook was in 2012, okay? Or if I were to tell you that we can go back in time and put you on Facebook in 2012, would you do things differently? Most
Yeah.
people would say
I
yes.
mean, sure, right?
That is LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn, and people don't get it because it's a little bit of a weird platform, but they are scaling, and that is a place that realtors want to be. That is where decision makers are. That's where executives are. That's where people with looking for work, or people with work, those are the people that you want to be engaging with. So how do you use LinkedIn to your benefit, and why a lot of people don't is because they've spent so much time on Facebook. They have these huge groups. When they go on LinkedIn, they don't have this following. They feel like a newbie. Well,
It is a different, it does feel different on there, but
it does.
as you get more ingrained in it, it's not that different
It's
almost, right?
not that different. It's all about strategy. And if we as realtors were to really band together and use all the different tactics and strategies to actually have LinkedIn's algorithm work with you, it's actually very, very easy to scale on that type of platform because there's so much traffic coming to it and there aren't enough people actually using it. So it's just a new platform. Will that be the scenario forever and within 2 years? No. So that's why the time is now. It's the same with any new platform like TikTok, all of them. I'm on all the platforms.
TikTok
And
is nuts.
it is.
You can get lost in that thing. Like spend a lot of time watching, and then it takes a ton of time to create videos on it. I guess once you do it more often, consistency, the better you get at it.
I'm not really good at it. What I'm doing is kind of creating the same content that I'm doing and just reposting it. So I don't know if my strategy is working, but my strategy is that content, that digital footprint, so that one day, a year from now, if they go look me up, there's content. Whether it was in alignment with what's trending or what got to the For You page, right now I'm not really focused on going viral. What I'm really focused on is building that digital footprint on every platform, because once I do that, then I can tweak, then I can scale and find out where I'm actually getting more love from.
Okay, so what kind of video? So I mean, top 1% video creator means a lot of people are watching your videos. Is
Yeah,
what that means, right? And then, so what kind of videos are you creating?
really
And let
organic.
me go more complex on that too.
Okay.
Just as you talk about it, I'm curious to know what kind of content.
Mhm,
Uh, are you sitting where you are now, or do you make
mhm.
sure you've got a beautiful backdrop and everything's perfect?
Okay.
Do you use your phone, or have you got some big videography company that's always standing by your side waiting for you to say, turn on the camera?
Hell no, there's no way. I
What
don't
is
have
the process? Tell us about these videos.
I don't have Gary Fee's marketing team. No,
No,
I
okay,
do
okay.
not. No, I don't.
Guys, hang on one second. No, stop with that. Yeah, that's okay. No, sorry. No, I'm joking.
Please, everyone, stop. This is my best side. No, real, real. Keep it real as fuck. I'm serious. I can't get any more honest with you. The more money you spend, the more time you take, the more produced it looks, the more it does not work. Okay, so what is working for me is just being me. And the only thing I can do, and I'm a mom. You already said I had wearing a lot of hats.
Oh yeah, and you're a mom.
And I'm a mom. I have 2 kids.
You must have two heads. You know.
I'm a Gemini. Maybe that's it.
Oh, which means you got a birthday that either just passed or is just
I
coming up.
did. It was Sunday. It was Sunday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday to you. That's
Thank
cool.
you. No, so I have a Rode mic. I'm doing this from my laptop. I do have a camera, and
Yep.
when my partner's around, he'll hold it for me. So I'm not doing one of these where you're seeing that. But other than that, it's just this. And what I do is I create content that's I talk a lot about mindset. I talk about mindset because without the right mindset, there is no way I believe that you can conquer much of anything. And without feeling winded and tired and beat up and just really, really upset. So mindset is a really big thing. I talk about mindset. I talk about, my struggles with my kids that he was having with school and changing schools. I talk about my life. I talk about my journey, where I'm at. I talk about struggles. I talk about things that I'm excited about. I do lives before this venture, restaurant venture. I've been kind of MIA for 4 weeks, which is really, really rare for me. So thank you for pulling me back into it. I feel so excited now.
We're here for it.
In my element.
We got you.
But that's what I do. It's education. So for my business, the best thing to do is to educate other realtors about what I'm doing. You're like, well, how does that help you, Virgie, get other business? Because the people I have people that are in my community. They see me coaching other realtors. I must be a boss. I'm coaching other realtors on how to bring business to their business, how to market themselves. Why wouldn't they want to talk to me about how to market their property? Like, it's almost like it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? So even if I don't, I'm still, and they know that I have a resource and a wealth of information that I talk to all the top people in their space. So if they want to know somebody, Chris Griffiths, hey, he's the one for the VA loans. If someone's for that, they know that I'm tied in to the best of the best. So I don't have to be the best loan officer, or the best this, or the best that. I am tapped into all the best of the best. So they're going to come to me for my resources, my network, and my expertise. And if they know, like, and trust me, well, then it's kind of, it's a done and done. It's not even, I've gone to listing presentations and with people I haven't even met, just at an open house, but I sent them an email with all the videos, what I can do for them, some of my personal content that I create, how I coach other realtors. By the time I got there, they put out the red carpet. They literally were like, honey, she's here. She's here. Come on.
Oh my God, it's her.
They pulled that. I left with the listing and a bottle of wine.
Oh,
it was, it was funny is because like one of them was like, the wife was like, I'm going to tell you why I really don't want to use you. And he got mad. He's like, no. She's the best realtor.
That's funny. But
really, it was because their friend was a realtor. And but the thing is that it just changes. It really flips the script.
Because you're putting you're showing who you are.
Yes. But it also
people are getting to learn that.
But when you create content, you also flip the script for yourself internally. Because you build up a confidence and a conviction, okay? Because one thing is mindset. I can tell myself I need a positive mindset and I can work on it. But when you do a thing and all of a sudden you built a conviction into it, that's it. Nobody can tell you otherwise. It's that confidence and conviction that you build. And then when the other people have that, oh, she's coming in as an expert, and you have those two things at the same time, that's magic right there.
And I've been talking a lot about that, everybody. We've been talking about that with consistency and having a plan. And when you have a plan, you're managing time better. When you're managing time better, you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, other people see that you feel better about yourself. They trust you more. When they trust you more, they tell other people, and that's where referrals come from.
I mean, it's hard to do. It sounds really simple. It sounds like, oh, just do this.
No.
In the moment, it's hard because you've got this thrown at you. Yeah. And that's why you start with this.
So the videos themselves, you've got them portrait or landscape?
This way. I do this way when I'm holding it by myself. But for the most part, it's going to be landscape because you get, it's a nice square footage. Yeah, and I can edit it. If I do this way, I can't edit as well. I can't make a meme video out of it if I wanted to. I can't repurpose it as well.
Okay. Content is across the board. It could be educational. It could be personal stuff of what's going on.
Personal, funny, humor. It could even be just LinkedIn is really funny. If you can make a crack out of a day in the life of a realtor, or just staying at home, you just throw those things in there. Humor is very big because there's not enough of it on LinkedIn. I've connected some people that basically, Shay Robottom basically scaled her account from like 4,000. I remember watching a video where she talked about, I have depression. I went, oof, I don't know how that's going to go for you.
Yeah.
But see, you did the same thing I did.
Yeah.
Because we came from a different time. Okay. We came from a time where you talked about that and it was not okay to speak about it.
No, you know what? It has become a lot more normal to kind of come out there and go, okay, look, here's what I'm dealing with right now. That's
the vulnerability. Because if somebody knows that you're dealing with it and you have a client who's very
there's an emotional connection
anxious,
too, right?
she's going to know that they're going to know how to deal with it. So anyways, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, I wonder how that's going to go for her.
Yeah.
She's freaking like LinkedIn queen now, like 200,000 followers on.
Oh my God.
It did not damage her at all. So that's why I really started tapping into the vulnerability, not making up fake vulnerability, but not disguising your faults, not disguising your bad deals. Talk about the bad deals that you had. Talk about the failures and how you overcame. That is the human connection, I think, right now that actually really proves to somebody that person is authentic and real, because they showed me a piece of them that was not their personal persona, their front man. So when they see like they got through a fissure, they're almost like, I'm connected to that person. And I think that's why vulnerability is working so well. Now, it's not in a few years when everyone's like, oh, I just had the worst day of my life. It has to be real. It has to be you really just exposing.
Don't just bitch and complain. You got to actually show your true heart, almost like what's going on.
Expose yourself, right? And then find a way to overcome and then bring people into that. But don't focus on the negative, because it's all about rising. Especially now, people need that inspiration.
100% they do. So how often are you doing a video or posting on LinkedIn? Is this once a day? Is it once a week? Is it?
So I was doing live. So up until the restaurant, 4 weeks, it's been done. But I was doing 2 lives a day. It was going live every day on LinkedIn Live. I was doing videos consistently about 2 to 3 times a week. So I think it doesn't matter how, I know people are like, you have to create. No. What you really should do is create whatever's comfortable for you and consistent. It's better if you create one video that you feel rock solid about and really good about once a week, every week, than trying to do 6 videos that are like stressing you out and not coming out right, because you're not going to be able to sustain that.
That is great advice. So you know, as we've been talking about the fact that you've been, scaling this business for 21 years and this idea of being there online and being authentic and genuine, own your digital real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've, through the past, few minutes of chatting here, we've kind of talked about the fact that it really means just being there. Is it the mind share around that, or how would you define that if we really condense this now and say, what does it mean to own your digital real estate?
Exactly what you said. I know a lot of people are thinking that, when I say that, they think, oh, my website or my brand or my logo.
Okay, yeah, break this down. Exactly.
It's not that. It's really you. And why I say it's most important to build it upon you is because we as people are always going to be reinventing yourself. The guy who just started as an agent, who knows what the landscape as a realtor is going to be like in 5 years. So I think if you brand yourself, not as I'm Joe Realtor, but as I am David Greenspan, I am Virgie Van Horst, and I am a mom, and I am a realtor, and I'm a broker, and I'm a person trying to figure out how to make it in this world and to be happy and to live the life to the fullest. That right there is everybody who wants to buy a home, their families, their people, they're all trying to do the same thing. I just happen to have an expertise in certain fields that they can actually, elevate themselves from. Wonderful. That's what it is. So really it's about building your personal brand for you, showing up every day, building that digital footprint. So if anybody Googles your name, they're going to know what you're about. And don't get so stuck in trying to figure out what you are today, because that can be course corrected. It can evolve through your content. And the more you document your journey instead of creating your journey, it becomes a lot easier and it becomes more organic. And why everyone should be doing it is because the other alternative.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, why? Why do I have to put myself out there? Why do I have to tell people what I'm eating? Why do I have to tell people? And it's not that you have to tell people what you're doing, but you get what I mean. Like, why should I share my vulnerability? Why should I tell you about what's going on? Why should I show you when I am not in my perfect uniform for business?
Because why
do I want to do this whole digital thing?
Yeah, nobody wants to see perfect, for one. And the sooner you realize that, the faster you're going to get to understanding how all this works.
And what if I'm old school? What if I'm old school and I'm like, I didn't really, this whole digital thing, I don't know what.
Then you're going to just be
complicated, and
you're going to be old school and you will disappear. You have to do this because this is the wave of the future. Look at social distancing right now. You can't even connect with people. So, you have to embrace it. The alternative is this: you disappear and then you have to pay for your marketing. That sucks because marketing is going now. It's Facebook ads are all cheap and everything because not so many people are on it. If you're really good at Facebook marketing and ads, you can get good with it. But even me understanding how that world works, I never ever throw $1 at any Facebook ad until I have actually tested that ad with organic traffic. And with the amount of organic traffic I'm getting, it actually, my organic videos are outperforming, if I'm putting strategy behind them, the actual paid advertising I'm getting. With paid advertising, you could have other realtors, you could have bots, you could have other realtors going in, clicking on your links just to see what you're doing, and then you have to pay for that advertising, and it was never even a lead for you. Just somebody there's so many ways to get screwed on Facebook ads. So for me, I'm all about organic traffic. So if you're not embracing this digital
We're dropping the mic
branding,
once again today. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, you're going to have to pay for your marketing and it's going to be too expensive. And then right now, you can't even buy marketing for certain places. They're turning in themselves into brokerages. It's all becoming commission based. So you're going to actually be a slave to some other, marketing firm that's just giving you whatever they want to give you. And then that's a really bad place to be as a realtor. So you want to own your marketing. You want to own your digital real estate. You want to own your business and create it. You want to create a pipeline of leads that you are building through your organic content.
Organic content. Did we say organic content? I think I heard organic content.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because organic needs to be just really, really real. Just not something that's produced, not fake, not with an agenda. Just kind of like, hey guys, here I'm at. Just like that documenting type of real, because it's something that you can do more often. It's something that could be really micro content. It's easily digested.
Okay, so let's go step by step here now, okay? Because
Okay.
I mean, you are giving us so much. It is amazing.
Thank you.
We look at what steps do we need to take, and you mentioned LinkedIn, you mentioned video. Do we need to do video for this to work? Do we need to be on LinkedIn for this to work? Can we be on Facebook? Can we do it a different way?
Yes.
I want to go step by step now. So somebody who's and I'm encouraging everybody, take your notes. Mindshare Masters, write your questions because we're going to go through this in a few minutes together. But, when we look at this, take us through this. Like for anybody listening, what can they do with the tools they either have or what tools should they get to make this happen? So that's step by step. They walk away from today and they go, okay, got it. Got some great information from Virgie and David. I understand more about why I need to build my online real estate, my digital real estate online, and really own it. What do I have to do now? I got it.
Just do it.
I bought in, but do what? Give me step by steps now. I got Facebook, I got Instagram, I got LinkedIn, or maybe I don't have LinkedIn. Should I get LinkedIn?
Yes, you got to start with doing video. You got to start getting uncomfortable. That's the first thing you got to do is you got to get out of your comfort zone.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
And get uncomfortable. That's it. Because going to a new platform that's new, it's uncomfortable. It's new, it's different, no one's liking you. You have to get uncomfortable to grow. So that's the first thing. Do you need LinkedIn? Okay, well, LinkedIn, if you got a LinkedIn account, it actually gives you really good SEO, okay? And SEO is a bunch of baloney when people are trying to, pump you up and sell it to you. I get it. But if you could just build a profile for yourself personally in your business, and you actually get top ranking because LinkedIn is really great with SEO, why not just do it for that? That means when somebody Google searches you, you're going to have another link that pops out. And that means any bad information or any other links that you don't like will get buried, and all the ones that you do go to the top. That's simple SEO. So for that one little tiny reason, get a LinkedIn, build a profile. Don't worry about it. Just build it.
It's not just the profile. It would be put out the content across LinkedIn. This way, LinkedIn seeing you as somebody who's creating and collaborating, contributing, and that's where your Google search starts to rank higher.
So I'll get into all that. So first thing you want to do if you're getting into LinkedIn, because I suggest that you should definitely connect with me. It's my happy place. We should all work together, start tagging each other, creating content as realtors, going, hey, hashtag where are my realtors at? Something, that we can create, a challenge or something. We should definitely do that. But if you go onto LinkedIn, please create your profile, and you want to make sure you're using a nice image of yourself. Don't make it a super professional, like suit and tie image. I'd really like to see something that's just like you, just comfortable, okay? Because people want to connect with somebody real. They don't want to feel like they're going to be sold, especially if there's realtor on there. Like, oh great, they're going to just show me one of their listings again. We don't want to see that. Do that. Now your headline Your headline on LinkedIn follows you everywhere. Okay. So for every comment you leave, you are actually personal branding whenever you actually
Because I see
engage on somebody.
yours, Virgie Van Horst, got that little diamond or something that says brand equity.
Yes, brand
Right?
equity. So you want to be very clear on that headline on what it is that you do, the results you can bring somebody. You don't want to be, I'm a realtor in California and here is my realtor number. That you don't want to use that space for there. This is like a tagline, like I said. So whenever you leave a comment, they know it's brand equity, they see you. That is actually a way to get people from other people's posts when you're engaging to click onto your profile page, which is your lander, which is the top of your funnel. Okay. And then you go into the about section. The about section is where you want to put everything you're about. Please don't put all your awards and blah, blah, blah. Nobody gives a crap about that stuff.
Let's just be real.
Put in what it is that you can do for somebody, how you can help them, the results that you can bring them, and where they can find you. Calendly links work great on the profile page. If you want to take people to another website, then you've got to do that whole entire, opt-in call to action thing once again. So you might as well just make that call to action right there in the top of your funnel on your profile page. No websites involved. Now, you've got that going. What that does, it opens up other features. So make sure you finish it all, because then you have this other section where you can actually add links to your website, other links to posts that you really, really, really want to feature. It's just a way for people to get to know you on your profile page. And I can dig into this deeper on maybe another, really show you how it all works. But then please do not post anything yet. Don't make one video, don't post anything at all. You want to prime the LinkedIn algorithm, and you want to prime your feed. So now you want to become a super engager. That's all you want to do. Now you got your headline, you got your photo, you're ready to become a super engager. You're going to go into the feed, you're going to connect with someone like me who's got a lot of cool people in their feed, because if you go in there, you're probably going to have nothing in your feed. It'll probably be like, you're like, Virgie, what are you talking about? LinkedIn is so freaking boring. There's nothing here. You have to be connected to the right people. So you need to start curating your feed. Once you've curated your feed, at this point, now is when you create your first video. And you want to use hashtag my first video or #1 ST video. Put it in there and you will get love from people. You also want to tag at least 10 to 15 people in the comments. So the way you write it is that you write your post, my first video, I've done this. Then you want to, in the comments, tag the people that like, hey, this is my first video, guys. It was really nerve-wracking. How was it for you when you first started? Ask them a question.
Now you're creating engagement.
Now you're boosting engagement on your own post, but LinkedIn already saw you as not a taker. LinkedIn saw you as a super engager first. So now that you've properly set up your LinkedIn account, now you can actually start boosting your SSI score on LinkedIn, which basically you'll see it's about how you're engaging, how you're connecting with the right people. The other thing you need to be doing while you're doing this is strategically connect to about 50 people a day. You must not just go connect. Click on the profile, because on LinkedIn, everyone can see when they viewed your profile.
Right.
They see you, you see them, people start clicking, you do this consistently. If you go over 50, you'll get blocked and then you have to wait. If you stay at 50, it's a nice ratio. And these are all metrics that LinkedIn uses to make sure that you are a good user on the platform. And that's how you basically hack the algorithm. And it's not even a hack, it's just basically understanding it and working with it.
Interesting insight into LinkedIn, because I know it definitely has that stigma around it. It's a little bit more boring. It's a little bit more business. But from what it sounds like, you're going, listen, leverage this thing just like you would leverage Facebook. Get in there and start to be personal with it. Start to be genuine. Teach people, tell people, share
Yes.
with people.
There's
You
less
know,
people on there, so you will
yeah.
be noticed more. Facebook is very saturated,
And this is the thing. Facebook is very saturated. Instagram, much the same. You know, TikTok can be either your shtick or not, but LinkedIn, you listen, you bring up a great point though when it comes to even the Google search and the SEO.
Yes.
Because again, we're living in a world where many believe that online lead gen is the way of the world for the real estate industry.
For all industries, just so, I mean, I know this is real estate, but it really is all industries now.
And it's got a place in it. But again, we're talking you and I about the organic side of that,
Right.
not just going out there and spending a whole whack load of money, because that's just
No.
like flyering a neighborhood. You
Yeah.
know, it can work, but you've got to budget for it. You got to support it. You've got to have other channels involved in it. In this case, when we're talking about owning your digital real estate, it really means get involved in those platforms.
What
Be
if you did
present.
both? But
Pardon
if
me?
you do both, that
There's
whole
you building
totally,
mind share. That's the idea, right? You're
yes,
supporting one channel with the next. It's like I'm not just going to post on social media and then never call you
no,
or never email you.
hmm,
You know, we're going to use a multi-channel approach to make sure that the message is getting out there. I was
yep,
talking to some clients of mine earlier today, and they were saying to me, oh, I get people that tell me, they don't want to see my stuff. I'm like, of course they don't. When was the last time you wanted to see a commercial on TV or listen to one on the radio or
yeah.
see one while you're scrolling your social media? Nobody wants to see you.
No, no.
Nobody
The
wants
ads
to
are
be
the ads are
served.
the commercials. The ads are the sponsor ads that
Right.
people want to get past. They're like, no, no. Like my kids, they are already programmed. They grew up on Netflix. They're like a commercial. This is a distraction. Next, next. Unless the commercial is like somebody falling or where you almost think it's not a commercial for a minute. You're like, what's going on here? Then you've captured them. Why? Because it's human. It's not an ad. It's not something you're trying to shove down their throat. It's something you're trying to like show them and they're drawn into it. So you got to be a little bit more creative, or you got to be just vulnerable, or you just be who you are and you just don't care and you just gravitate to have the people gravitate towards you that resonate with what you're putting out there. It doesn't have to be the whole world. You just need a small little piece that's yours. You know what I mean? It's like if you just start, how much business do you really need? I mean, you're thinking about all of this. Just think about building your little pipeline. And if you just focus on that, it will start to grow and compound. And if you are doing marketing and you are paying for marketing, I mean, I do it. I do pay for marketing, but I will never do it unless I have organic. Like I have somebody that's like, oh, here, I have this business. I just want to just do marketing. I'm like, well, what kind of, let me see your profiles. What kind of content do you have? What kind of like digital footprint do you have right now? Nothing. I'm like, well, you don't want to waste any money, because when people see that ad, they didn't click on it and they think, I'm going to go Google that and there's nothing there. You just wasted that ad spend, because it's not about that conversion that time. Sometimes it is just about the branding, just the mind share. That's what it is. It's truly is that. And then as a marketer, people, they get lost in trying to figure out the marketing mumbo jumbo. But what it is just put yourself out there
Put
and put
yourself
yourself
out
out
there.
there for as cheaply as you can. And then that's it. Just get out there as much as you can.
And be physically present there, but then again connect with other people. And part of this comes back to being able to own this digital real estate is not just putting out your own content, but go and engage with other people.
Absolutely.
Build those
Yeah.
relationships with people. And the more you're doing that, the more you're going to win and the more people will collaborate together. And now again, you've got a winning formula of how to increase that online presence and again own your digital real estate.
Yeah. That's as simple as that. I mean, and also, like, we're talking about people buying leads from people. When you have organic traffic and you have all these people, you can be very strategic about giving free information to them and building up an email list. And then you build up this email list that you can tap into at any time. Let's say you're not a realtor and you end up doing something else. You open up a day spa. Now you have this lead list that you can be like, hey guys, I've always been your great realtor for so many years, but now I'm going on this new journey. Now you have something to grow from. It's having an entrepreneur mindset no matter what you're doing, and being strategic about it, you know.
No, it's certainly great insight there. You know, a lot of it, it just, again, it comes back to exactly that. Be
Mhm.
consistent, get out there and connect with people, get your content out there, understand that this stuff takes time. It is not an overnight success.
It's not.
Virgie,
It's a
tell me
lot of work.
I mean, this has been awesome, and I know that for anybody that is again using LinkedIn, you've now got some better tips on how to go about it. Anybody who's maybe not, again, you've got some good tips on what to do there to really go next level with it. But much the same. A lot of this stuff can be, again use, and a lot of the tips that you got today can be used across any of the platforms.
I actually
LinkedIn is
believe if you do use it on Facebook and you take it, I actually will think it does transpire really well, because what you're doing is now getting out of your own head and you're documenting, and people are human everywhere. You know what I mean? And if you just take
absolutely.
that strategy and do it on all platforms and don't overthink it, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. You'll see it, and you can grow through it, and then a week later you'll be like, I'm gonna modify it here. And then now they'll be the expert, they'll be on your show, your podcast next.
I love it. I love it. Tell me something, just as we wrap up here, and I know we've covered a lot. Any final words or tips that you want to share with everybody here about anything we talked about today?
Just make sure that your mindset is right. Make sure that you stay true to who you really are and own it with definitive purpose, and fail forward faster. That is the only way to grow. And that's my message to everybody. And especially in this time right now, don't get stuck. Just keep moving forward. That's the only way to grow.
I've got one last, or pardon me, just before I ask you that, actually, where can people find you?
Okay, so virgievanhorst.com, LinkedIn, my name, just Google me and you'll find me everywhere. But I do have my own website. I have free content, but LinkedIn's my happy place. It really is. I love that place. So connect with me there and let's work together, and we'll boost each other's the numbers and connects.
I encourage everybody to do that. Now, we've got one last question here before we go, which is one of our favorite questions on the show more recently. But what made you smile today?
I've been feeling really, really good today. So what made me smile? The fact that I get to wake up and do what it is that I love on a daily basis makes me really, really grateful. And I just, yeah, I've been feeling really good because I have been owning who I truly am. And I really am starting to feel the compounding results of that. I just had a birthday, and last year's birthday wasn't so good, because I wasn't exactly in the spot that I felt like I needed to be in. And this past year, I kind of went through some growth, and I started like acknowledging the small successes that I have, and really, really not focusing on where I thought I needed to be or what I should be at, and really embracing where I am at, and just feeling that and being present in that moment. And after this birthday, I went, I noticed it, because sometimes in the moment you don't notice your growth, but like you have
No,
to
we
go
never
back
notice it in the moment. It's only when we do the look back, right?
and look back. And that's what I think I did. So maybe that was just having this birthday and just going, I'm okay. I feel like I'm on that. I feel like I'm in alignment with my purpose and what I should be doing. And I feel good. That made me smile today. You did.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Well, you've made me smile. I thank you very, very much for all the time. I wish you a very, very belated but happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. And we're gonna have to do this again, because
I love
I
that.
believe like we can keep going. I believe there's a lot more we can sort of pull out of you there from a strategy perspective. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So thank you once again. I
Great.
appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. You have a beautiful day.
For everybody here, Mindshare Masters, everybody in the group there in our VIP room, stay tuned. Give me just a moment. We're going to be getting off air, and we're going to be tapping in for anybody else that is watching us live that has the link that is part of our Mindshare 101 group. Click that link, get involved, get to the room now. We're about to have a private Q&A with Virgie. But for everybody, you're either listening to this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or Spotify. Or maybe you downloaded our free Industry Syndicate podcast app. Or maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. And while you're on my site, make sure to download your free copy of the 7 Ways to Communicate ebook to help you build more mindshare so that you can get more market share. And I want to invite you to join our private Mindshare community. We meet twice a month to share live ideas, tips, tricks, and do some mind sharing. And all of our Mindshare Masters get access to our private VIP Q&A with our special guests of this podcast each week. And you get daily marketing and sales tips delivered right to you. Plus, the opportunity to motivate, learn, and network with a whole bunch of people just like you, going through the same struggles in business as you, looking to achieve like you. When you're on the site, just click on the coaching option, then group coaching, and for only $19 a month, literally like 62 cents each day, you'll have access to a powerful coaching resource every single day. Seriously, just saying 62 cents sounds crazy to me too. Make sure to check it out. Wherever you like to consume your content, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at Mindshare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. This has been another episode of the Mindshare Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.